Greetings, everybody. Allow me to have a conversation with a very special woman. I know you're going to be listening to this video. And I am urging you to find a way to come out here and teach us, because we are walking in darkness. And there's a lot of things that we reject, that we don't understand. And with your wisdom, I'm asking you to inspire us. Now, you're going to choose the method and you're going to choose the time when you forward, because we need it. We don't want all the speculations and we don't want the misinformation. We want you to come and teach us and show us some things about our tradition, our African tradition, and some of our aspects of our African spirituality, because a lot of people don't understand it. And so you know yourself. And in the comment section, people, I want you to say, come forward to this very spiritual woman who understands some things. I am very fascinated with her from the time I met her, for more reasons than one, to be honest with you. And so I'm saying, people, say, come forward. We want to know. Come forward. Come teach us. Come help us understand some things. Okay? I'm not going to say your name, but we are waiting. Okay? Now, to continue this video, I am going to talk about how the African spirituality has pervaded our culture, but we're not aware of it. Some of the things I'm going to talk about here are what we refer to as superstition, but it's not superstition. It is actually things in our memory, our ancestral memory, and it has meaning. And when we participate in things in nature without even knowing why we do it, it's sort of like getting to the answer in the math and not knowing how you got there. And so you have all these charlatans that are coming out and bringing people into this thing, because guess what? There's a part of us that yearns for that spirituality, that yearns to participate in what is not just right for who we are as a people, but it is that glue that binds us to the motherland. Okay, we just don't understand it. And because of the misinformation and because of the lies that we are told, we are now kind of like chaff in the wind, just blowing around with all these misinformation. Now we're confused and we're angry, and we're like wildfire just burning the landscape. Okay, so you say, oh, I'm not involved in these things and I don't believe in these things. And yet you see your foreparents participating in these things. Traditions or things that you grew up with, not realizing what you were doing. A lot of persons are participating in things that they don't understand, but they're doing it anyway. Now, I'm going to list a series of things that you would know. You would see that in your household in Jamaica, or if you live in the diaspora, but you remember it as a child and you still participate in that or believe in this. So I'm going to start out. When we were growing up, we were told we should never leave our shoes outside at night. Why or why not? The old folks tell you it was bad luck to leave your shoes outside. You should never open an umbrella inside the household. And I'm sure there are kids who are mischievous. They would just do it just to see what's going to happen. Then we were told that eating Susumba, me for myself, if those of you who know what Susumba is, maybe there's another name. There is another scientific name, but I don't know what it is. And we would eat this in stews, or people would make it with saltfish. But in Haiti, this is used in part of their rituals when they're doing whatever it is that they are doing when they use that. And so a Jamaican would go to Haiti and they would see you eating the Susumba and they would have great reverence for you because of how they use it. But we were eating it. Placing an onion at certain places in a house will produce a certain result. And if you saw your grandmother doing it, you probably didn't even realize it was like a ritual and you didn't even know that's what was taking place. Sprinkling alcohol on a ground before breaking it, that when you're building foundation for a house or whatever development, every person from back in the day to this very time, they sprinkle alcohol on the ground. It's called libation. Okay. So sprinkling blood of animals when they're killed for food, so goats and cows and all these things, they still do that today. They sprinkle the blood on the ground where they euthanize the animal. We were told as children, do not pick up coins on the street. And they would say, if you pick it up, you're going to get warts on your body. But it was a lot more sinister than that. And so even to this day, you'll see money, coins on the ground, and you still don't pick it up. Why? Where did that come from? What does that mean? Washing your face with rice water on Good Friday. We were told if you did that, you're going to see ghosts. And if anyone ever tried doing that, in the comment section, tell me what happened, or if you believe that. What is it about that saying that made people so scared that they wouldn't even try it? And of course, there's always rebellious people that would try it. So do not tell anybody about your pregnancy before it reaches a certain period of time. And in North America, they would say, don't tell because, at that time, it's very vulnerable. And until it gets to the point where the fetus is viable, you shouldn't share that with anybody. But there's also other reasons for that all four parents knew. Then also, we were told not to show what is inside growing in the womb to anybody, which would mean when you take an ultrasound, it's a bad luck. I saw somebody doing that and I had to say, you shouldn't do that. I do believe that, and there's an explanation for that. You don't show a fetus to anybody, especially strangers. Okay. Now, all the new technology and all the things you see happening these days, there's scientific explanation for some of these things. Okay. Now, also, when a person gives birth to a child in Jamaica, most times the parents would tell them to take, put a little piece of thread in their mouth, tip saliva on it and put it in the center of the baby's forehead. Red string in the center of the forehead, or they would tie a red string on the child's arm. That was a thing, and that had meaning. Then you were told, do not throw water outside at night. No, we are saying these are superstition, but are they? And of course, the typical household, there would be a Bible on your night table. Some people sleep with the Bible on the bed. Why? Especially when it's opened in Psalms to certain scriptures. What are you doing? Exactly what do you think you're doing? What does this mean? And so for those who make up so much noise, they are participating in things without even realizing what they're doing. Do not leave your clothes on the line at night. A typical Jamaican would not leave their clothes hanging outside. Even if they did their laundry in the evening, they would not leave the clothes on the line overnight. Why? Not because they're worried that people are going to steal it. No. There are other reasons. People take your clothes off the line and do bad things to you. Do not sweep out your house at night. That's another thing that a lot of us as kids, our parents would say, if you do sweep your house at night, do not sweep it out until the next morning. Whatever dirt you collect, don't throw it out until the next day. If food drops on the ground, our foreparents used to say it is for the ancestors that they need it. Or they would deliberately leave food out overnight so the ancestors could participate in this. Does it mean that these people were bad, or was it just superstition? You think it was superstition. And yet when you look in Japan and you look in China, these places, they're leaving food on their altar. They're leaving different things on their altar. Am I saying you should do this? I'm just saying don't discredit or discard something that you don't understand. Now, every nation of people do ancestral worship except our people. And they tell you, oh, this is evil, this is bad. But yet, when you look at the greater nations, the so-called greater nation, if you look at any movie or you look at, any stories or any documentaries, and especially the ones where they're talking about spirits coming back and relaying messages to their people or whatever, a lot of these persons, and all the holidays that we celebrate are from people honoring their ancestors or their forebears. So, the food dropping on the ground is just another example of that. Wearing clothes on the wrong side. Watch for people you see going around with clothes on the wrong side in Jamaica. They're not just instructed to do it if they're going to other people, but they would understand that because their ancestors would tell them what that means. And of course, if a parent see a child putting on 2 left shoes right away, they would tell the kids to take that off, because that means they're going to, you know, one of their parents, especially their mother, is going to die if they do this. Okay, I'm going to end this one here for now. And then I'm going to ask you to leave some for me in the comment section. Some of what they consider to be superstition. Or is it really superstition? Does the spirits come back and teach us? And you say, who are these spirits? And again, stop saying things that you don't understand. Stop kicking against something, whatever someone else believes in. It's not even just about the belief. It's about where their faith lies and where their experience meet faith. Okay? So some of the stuff that you're quick to condemn or say bad things about, you don't understand. Okay? So that's why I'm trying to get, you know, this very special woman to come and share some of the things that her grandparents or grandmother taught her, and some of the things that her mom showed her, and some of the things she know to be true in Jamaica. Because you see, when we hear people talking, it just seems like you're just making up stuff. And when you see all these people coming out with their, you know, disassociation or isolating themselves from this particular thing that's happening in Jamaica, I'm very glad that it's happening right now, because guess what? We need to stop with our lies, and we need to embrace the truth. Do you understand? It's time. And I'm going to pause this video right here until I talk to you about this again. Part 2 will come.